We keep moving now to the second to last conference to talk about the Big Ten. Interesting week we had last week. I think we got the Illinois Washington game wrong, and I don't think we missed another game besides that one, if I can remember. So we've been pretty good in picking Big Ten games the last couple of weeks. Even the week before, I think we only missed like one or two. Here for this week in Week 10, we start with Penn State over in Columbus to take on the Buckeyes. Ohio State is favored by 20.5 points. Think that is warranted. The Nittany Lions are without James Franklin. They will be without their starting quarterback, Drew Aller. There's also some defensive injuries that they have suffered earlier in the season. So yeah, there's a lot not going for Penn State here on the road. Ohio State also has a very good quarterback in Julian Sayin, who has been working really well with his wide receiver core. I think we'll see that quite a bit this upcoming weekend. It should be a pretty even contest, I think, in the first half, but the Buckeyes should be pulling away. I'm not too sure if they cover 20.5 points, but Penn State is pretty bad, and I think that's why it's being set there for people putting money on this game. But yeah, we're going to go Buckeyes to win there at home and continue to be undefeated. Rutgers heads over to Champaign, Illinois. And the Fighting Illini should be bouncing back off of a very, very rough road loss there in Seattle against UW. And yeah, I think it should be a nice bounce back win. Rutgers, very below average here in the Big Ten. Even in games where it's been close for them that they should have won, they just find ways to shoot themselves in the foot. I think they do that here on the road. Illinois is also favored by 12 points, which I think is pretty interesting. I think it should be more towards like a 7 or 8 number. Because, you never know with Rutgers. But yeah, I think they most likely don't cover there, but do win there against the Scarlet Knights. We move now into Indiana on the road against Maryland. The number one team here, Air Sports Outpost. I think they had the best resume so far this season. Maryland, on the other hand, man, it has been a rough 3-4 weeks for the Terps. I think it's going to continue to be a rough weekend for Maryland as Indiana comes to town. One of the best offenses in the country. I think the favorite to win the Heisman, Fernando Mendoza, even though I really like Dante Moore, but it's unfortunate that the things didn't fall in line. Not only last week, it was kind of a rough week for him, as we're talking about Oregon for some reason now. But here for the Hoosiers, should be business as usual. Their defense is completely lethal, not only in putting pressure on the quarterback, but turning the ball over. Special teams also lethal. We saw that in the game at home against Illinois with that block punt that set up some nice points. Yeah, we should see that here against Maryland. So yeah, let's go Indiana. They're also favored by 22 points, so I think that's very realistic. Next game up, we got Michigan State on the road against Minnesota. Interesting line being set, 3.5 points for the Golden Gophers. Okay. Well, yeah, Minnesota did beat Nebraska. Did unfortunately get blown out by Iowa last week. So I'm a little nervous with this pick. I think out of all the picks, this is the one I'm like, I don't know if it's going to go our way, even with the Golden Gophers being favored. Because Michigan State, they're in desperation mode. I mean, you can also say that for Minnesota, but definitely for Michigan State. Jonathan Smith, he's also, I guess, in the hot seat. That's been murmurs. I've seen list of him of possibly being fired. Not just this past week, but for the last like 3 to 5 weeks, it's kind of been that way. I think if you lose to Minnesota, yeah, it's definitely not going to help out his situation there. Should be a close one, but I think the Golden Gophers get out alive, even at home, against the Spartans. So yeah, let's go Golden Gophers. Next up, we got Michigan hosting Purdue. We're going to go with Wolverines. Purdue's had some quarterback issues in terms of just health. I'm not too sure if Brown will be able to return this upcoming weekend. So there's another reason why you go for the Wolverines, who were favored by 21 points there in the Big House. And I don't even know the last time Purdue's even won there in Ann Arbor. So yeah, there's a lot of things not going for the Boilermakers. So yeah, let's go Michigan. Our final game to talk about. I think it's the only one out of the 6 here in the Big Ten where we're going to go against the grain. Yeah, we're picking Nebraska. They're at home against USC. The Trojans. Well, they haven't been winning a lot of games. In fact, they've only won 1 game so far when they're not playing a Big Ten team, or when they're playing a Big Ten team outside of the West Coast. That was against Purdue earlier this season. So the first 2 seasons so far in their new conference, they have been pretty unsuccessful when they had to travel inland. So there's one reason. And I think this is going to be a massive game for Nebraska. Matt Rule, Jalen Raiola hasn't been looking good the last couple of weeks. And yeah, I mean, they just got out alive against Northwestern, but Northwestern's actually been improving week in and week out. I mean, they beat Penn State, so I mean, like, I guess the team's decent there. But yeah, I think USC, they seem to not travel well. And then on top of that, there has been a decent amount of chatter for the Cornhuskers, who haven't got a ranked win from an AP team. I know USC isn't ranked here at your Sports Outpost because they're not worthy of it. But for your casual, or not even casual voters there in the AP, they for some reason think the Trojans should be ranked, which is what game are you watching there? I know they have beaten Michigan, but who's Michigan beaten? Nobody. So it's like, it's kind of just brand recognition of why certain teams are ranked there in the AP polls. But yeah, back to that 28 game losing streak that the Cornhuskers have had against AP ranked teams. I think it ends, and they get over the hump. I don't know if they'll get back into the mix for a Big Ten title, because the favorites are for sure Indiana and Ohio State. But we'll see. We'll see. I think Oregon is kind of that third dog in that race. So it's definitely a long shot. But no, I think Nebraska pulls it off. USC is favored by 6.5 points. I think they're going to have a real physical matchup on their hands that they lose here this weekend.